Hey everyone, this is Steve, and this is, as promised, the Show of Show videos. Sorry I'm looking a little scruffy here with my hat on and that. It's Sunday afternoon. I'm back from the show. The weather is just absolutely horrible. I've been just kind of bumming around the house and that, so hence the kind of scruffy look. This is going to be the intro. I did a lot of footage down there. Unfortunately, I thought I took more inside the show, and I didn't. You know, part of it is you're there, you're focused on buying things, and that. The other thing is that some of the vendors, they don't like it necessarily for you to really concentrate on what they have for sale. So filming their tables, it's more of a walk by, but there is some footage. If you wait until the kind of middle of the video, I did do a couple nice shots, you know, of tables and kind of what it's like to walk down one of the aisles. I took shots from some of the corners and that. I did run into a friend of mine. I ran into John Boy 09, so that footage is all in there. And then it's going to conclude today with my finds. So that'll be at the very end. It's not a incredibly long video, but it's rather lengthy. So you may want to put it on pause for a moment, you know, go get a pop, soda, cup of coffee, whatever it is you drink, a snack or whatever, and then sit back. Hopefully this will kind of incentivize? Hopefully this will make some of you really want to go to the show. And, you know, I just want to say, I was going to do a kind of a recap of what I liked and disliked. I'm not going to. The show was great. Prices were all over the place, but you know, if you looked, you found good deals. People were very pleasant. I didn't have anybody who was grouchy or grumpy. It was very easy to get in. Everything was laid out very easy. Restrooms were great. Drinking fountains plentiful. Food was available. So it was a good show. And I came home with some cool things. You have a year, everybody. If you weren't able to go, if you're thinking of going, you have a year. They always do this late February, sometimes early March. They announce it in plenty of time. It's the OVMS, Ohio Valley Military Society. You can go on their website and they list all their shows. $35 to join, $30 for renewals. It's a wise purchase. You know, $35 for me, well, actually it was $30 because I was renewing, but $30 for me to renew, and I got into the show on Thursday for free. And only members can get in on Thursday. So that's $10 saved. Friday, I got into the show for free. That's $10 saved. And I was able to walk right in, and you'll see that in there. You know, $20 spent on a $30 membership. So really, I was paying $10 for my membership, and that $10 is well worth walking past the huge line of 200 plus people to get into the show. So it's a wise purchase. So I would recommend that you make that. Start saving your money now. Start preparing for your time off now. And I would love to hook up with a bunch of you next year. I'd love to hear that, you know, there's 25 or 30 of you that are all going to the show, and we can all kind of meet and have this really cool, you know, YouTube hookup, if you will. So keep that in mind. So, enough of me talking, on to the Show of Shows 2019. Enjoy. Hey everyone, this is Steve with Keep 'em Rollin', and we have made it to the Show of Shows. It's Thursday around 11:30. The weather, as you can tell by my squinting, is absolutely gorgeous. The sun is shining. The 5-hour drive here was just uneventful, 75 plus miles miles per hour the whole way. Traffic was light. Temperatures mid-40s, just absolutely gorgeous. We're standing in the parking lot of the Kentucky Fair and Expo Center here in Louisville, ready to go in. It's around 11:50. The show opens in about a half an hour, so I plan to go on in and get my sticker and then pick up some food and so forth and so on. But I just want to give you an idea of the scope of this place. So we're going to spin around here and let you see. It kind of gives you an idea. That's down there on the far left. All of these are various exhibition halls that are just huge. And as we come around here, you can see all the people heading in, getting ready. We're kind of standing in the vendor parking lot, if you will. But just, you know, the building, it looks tiny until you kind of reference the people that are up there. Let's see if I can zoom in on it here. You can kind of see now that it is massive. So we're going to head on in. I'll show you where you register, sign in, and etc. And then we'll take you on into the show. I can hardly wait. I always wonder what treasures are hiding within the walls. Okay, we're going to walk on up here. Kind of give you a feel. Sorry if it's a little bouncy. I'm trying to walk as smooth as I can. As you walk in here, you'll see that, oh, thank you.
closing at 12.
And
I got one load in before they close. So where do we go?
look at the
All the way down to the
look at the size of this facility. Okay, and once again, each area has its own event going on. You can see we're heading down this long hall here. And the entrance for the Show of Shows is actually all the way down here at the very end. You can kind of see the people gathering, congregating, lining up. All right, everyone, we've bypassed the sticker. I've got my new sticker now, and we are now inside the Show of Shows, just to give you an idea of the scope. For those of you who can't be attending this is one of those things, once again, that I recommend that you try to make a pilgrimage to at least once in your life. I have only been down probably a half of one row, and I've already found 15 things I want to buy. So, so this is going to give you kind of a broad idea. And now what I'm going to do is we'll just randomly give you shots of things here at the show, so that way you can kind of get an idea and whet your appetite. All right, everybody, this is Steve again from the Show of Shows reporting in, and last break I kind of panned around the show. Now I'm in the far corner, and I'm going to walk up and down a couple aisles here in a moment and just show you some of the stuff, but we're going to turn it around just far corner. All right, so yeah, we'll start over here. You know, this is kind of the corner, and then as we pan around, there you go. Miles and miles and miles of military. I've been up and down maybe 6 rows. I haven't bought anything yet, but I am working on, I got a list. There's one, actually one thing jumped out, but I'll feature that when I do my finds video. And that, this fine gentleman right here, this is Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott is a collector person himself. I've known Mr. Scott for a while. And Mr. Scott, what did you find? Mr. Scott picked up a nice,
very early war.
Nice early Kelly helmet there. Been looking for one for a while.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. This is Mr. Scott's lovely wife Brenda. So she's here as the extra eyes and so forth and so on. And oh, looks like something in the bag there too.
Yeah.
Oh, a nice
Marine Corps one.
Nice Marine Corps cap there. So things are being found. Things are being found. So all right, everybody, I will be back with you. I'm going to do a couple walks up and down the aisles, and we'll show you more of what this show is like for those of you who can't make it. So if you guys want to say, you can say goodbye. Yay! All right. Yeah. I know it takes forever. So all right. Hey everyone, this is Steve again. Another update at the Show of Shows. Well, I am taking a break. It's going on now about 3 hours since I've come in. There's about 2 hours left of the show. I've done almost all of it. I haven't found a whole lot, unfortunately. There's a few things I'm going to go back and look at, and then I'm going to have to really decide if I'm coming back tomorrow or not. It'll depend at the end of the day how I feel, you know, if I want to make the drive home or get a hotel room and come back for a couple hours tomorrow and just kind of look through. I'm sitting on the floor here. You can see spinning around here. There's more of the show there. I'm kind of tucked in this corner here. I've got my delicious half-eaten McDonald's cheeseburger and fries that I brought in with me. I thought it'd be good to bring just something in and have. I got my bottle of water, hydration, as I brought it before, essential. And I'm sitting here just waiting for Mr. John Boy 09 to get back. I just ran into him. It's funny. I sat down to just take a break for a minute, and lo and behold, who comes walking up but John Boy 09. And we've been chit-chatting for a bit, but he's going to pop back over in a minute, and hopefully we'll kind of get him on film a little bit about you know, his opinions on the show and so forth and so on. But it's just neat for me to meet him because I'm way up north in Michigan. He's way down south. I think Alabama is where he's at. So the chance of us, you know, meeting is not an easy trip. You know, it's not like taking a day's drive to visit somebody. You know, that's a long drive. So, all right, well, give you guys one last glimpse. There we go. And hey. All right, everyone, we're back here at the Show of Shows. For all of you who can't be here, I wish you could because it is incredible. And as I said just a few moments ago, look who's back. It is John Boy 09.
How you doing?
I have running. I mean, it's very strange to see him in person. You know, it's almost surreal. you know, I have to stop gushing. You know, I was going to ask for his autograph,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
and so forth and so on. But apparently he's having fun. I'm having fun. We wish all you guys were here to, and gals, to have fun with us. So, you want to share any information while you're?
I mean, it's mind-blowing here. If you can make the trip sometime, definitely come. If you're looking for something in particular, I guarantee you'll find it. Just bring a lot of money with you and and learn to barter and bicker and stuff with the vendors. But a lot of fun. Great meeting. Keep them rolling here, and we're gonna keep rolling through here.
And would you say that this is like more of kind of a learning experience too? You know, like if you're a young collector, you might not have money, but you can come and handle items and really get an idea of what's good. And awesome.
Definitely check out Keep 'em Rolling's video when he gives you some, you know, what to expect and some tips when you come. It's great advice.
And you know, I always say keep John Boy on, you know, in fact, I think most of the people that have come to me have come from you, so they all know you.
Right.
But if you don't know this guy, you gotta check him out, especially his shooting videos.
Yeah, for sure. Just, you know, I would say be respectful and everything, you know, use common sense and just always have fun.
Yep, that's the most important thing. So,
sure.
all right, we're going back into the show. Wish us luck and, well, keep them rolling.
Later.
Oops, well, I guess I can show you the show too while I'm turning the camera around here. It'll be all, hey everyone, this is Steve at the end of day one of the big show of shows here in Louisville, Kentucky. I am now exiting the hall. I was here right up until 5 o'clock.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Weather is still really beautiful out. It's maybe light jacket. I'm just in a shirt with, you know, kind of long sleeves underneath of it. I realize with this shirt on and the way the backpack does, it makes me look fat, which so I'm only showing you my headshot. Anyways, show was interesting. I bought a few items. I missed out on, you know, I had a checklist, and I swear to you, the karma gods were really not with me today. Every time, you know, I mean, literally would walk up, see an item, go, that's something I've been looking for, and the deal is being made right in front of me. And both times it was heartbreaking because they were two items I really could have used in my collection. But impressive show. I picked up a few things, and as I've alluded to earlier, this isn't a show that, if I seem like I'm distracted, I'm just making sure I don't get hit by a car. This isn't a show that you come to expecting to make a huge score as far as monetary. In other words, you're not going to walk up to a table and pay, you know, $5 for something that's worth $1,000. It's just not going to happen. But there are a lot of really rare things, a lot of really cool things that you can see while you're here. So if you ever get a chance to come out, please, it's worth the trip. And as you saw earlier, I was able to, big curb, able to talk to John Boy 09. That was a hoot to see him in person, you know, and we're gonna try and cross the road here. So we'll wave, say thank you, and thank you. Anyways, I'm still on the fence of whether we come back tomorrow to the show. I say we, but myself, if I come back tomorrow, or if I simply head home tonight. I am not sure yet. I have free passing tomorrow, so, you know, I may come back and just do another kind of slow troll through and see what I can see. The problem is finding a hotel. You know, they book up pretty quick, especially right around here. So I'm gonna go spend a few minutes trying to find a hotel and see if I can get one relatively inexpensive. But on that note, this concludes day one of the show of shows. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll pick up again with hopefully day two. Well, hey everyone, this is Steve with day two of the show of shows, and yeah, I did decide to spend the night. My wife was nice enough to, you know, book me a fantastic hotel room at the 4 Points by Marriott. Just beautiful room and very nice hotel, very nice people, and, you know, great sleep, the best sleep I've had in a while. Huge king bed and that. So now it is around 8:45. We are heading back into the expo center. The crowds are ramping up. It's looking like it might be a really good show. I'm hoping to find a few things. I had a few things on my list, and you know, we'll see what happens. You know, what I find is sometimes going 2 days to a show, you know, you think you've seen it all, but then as you walk around, you walk a different direction and you start to spot other things. So I'm going to try and stick to my list. We'll see if John Boy's back today, see if he found anything. And on top of that, well, there's really no on top of that. I will just simply show you some of the rows again. I'm going to try and get some footage of that and have it interspersed so you can have a good idea of, you know, what this show is like. The problem with this show, and I'll be it's early morning, so you have to excuse me. I haven't had my coffee. In fact, I've got my sandwich here. I'm going to eat once I get inside. Food is a little expensive here, so I tend to like to, you know, bring my own food and water. But the one thing is, with this show, there's so much to look at. You can get distracted very easily. That's a huge problem. So you have to kind of come prepared. And really, once you see this show, you know, I went and did this show a few years ago, and then went to a small local show. And then going to that small local show, it just seemed rather sad. You know, I got there and it was, well, let's just say, wasn't a whole lot there. So, all right, well, we are back. We are back inside, as you can see. I love this, man. This place is just so cool. I could see this out of some futuristic movie or something like that. So just neat. And oh, you should see the line. I'm gonna spin the camera around here so you guys can see the line. Look at the line. A lot different than yesterday, huh? Good thing I brought a sandwich with me, so. All right, well, I'm going to get in line here, eat my food, and then I will be back with you once I'm back inside the show, so. Hey everybody, it's me again. Just a quick little note here. You can see by the line I'm walking by. Yeah, I just found out that that's the line for people waiting to purchase their admission into the show. And since I already have, well, this fancy badge here, I'm allowed to just simply walk up to the front and see if there's a different line for people who can get to walk in. So, on that note, well, once again, take a look at that line. It is just huge. So we will see, look at this. We are at the end of the line. And we are going in, folks. Get ready. I'm gonna do it like kind of a, you can get an idea. So I'm gonna spin the camera around again. And all right, here we go. This is what it looks like from the outside. All right.
Oh, I didn't get a patch. Yeah. Patch. Get in.
Come on. Oh no, I'm waiting to the end of the line. I just took that. I don't know if the line's ever going to end.
You can see everybody rolling in. And once again, welcome back to the Show of Shows.
Good morning.
Check this out. Just as cool as always, I'm just going to do a walk down this row just so you guys can get an idea of the stuff that is available here. I mean, so we're gonna get a little bit of footage here of all the fantastic stuff. You can see how long this row is. This is just one row. You got helmets, hats, awesome stuff in the cases. And here.
Where is it?
Look at that if you'd like to buy a missile. It's available here. Here's World War I uniforms. Just an amazing, if you like soldiers, just an amazing amount of stuff. You can see this is just, and my voice may not be picking up, so if it's not, I apologize, but this just gives you an idea of the sheer scope of this show. I mean, it is truly, you want a Civil War frock coat? There you go. Right there. Sergeant. Actually, I'm sorry, that was a corporal. 2 stripes is corporal. Little high, that's more of a high-end purchase, $9,000, so. But just shows you the variety, you know. There's German stuff here. Beautiful insignia. Swords. Field gear. German, US, Italian, Japanese. It's just.
I take these two.
You can see some of the uniforms over here. Just an absolute incredible show. And that is just one row. If you look up here, you can see this is row R. It starts with row A, and goes all the way to row W. They used to have double rows, and they used to do some finagling, but you get the idea. So, all right, this is Steve. I'm gonna sign off for this one, and I'm gonna spin around. I'm gonna do some shopping after I finish my delicious sandwich, of course. So, all right. All right, everybody, we're going to conclude this rather lengthy video with what I picked up at the Show of Shows. And actually, I picked up most of this at the Show of Shows, and then I did find a few pieces at an antique shop that I stopped at on the way home. I basically left around 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday, and then around 4:30-ish, I ran across this big antique mall on the highway, and I thought, I'm going to stop, stretch my legs, use the bathroom, and check some stuff out. So, first of all, this right here. This is the program for the Show of Shows. You get one of these every year. Inside, it contains, you know, various advertising, a list of all the different vendors that are there. There's also a map in here. Let's see if I can find I should have had that marked. It just is cool to see, you know, whenever oh, there it is. This gives you an idea of the layout. If we can zoom in here, each one of these represents a table. I mean, look at that. Each one of those represents a table of stuff. That gives you an idea of how big the show is. So, nice little program. So you get one of these. They don't cost anything. They hand it to you when you go in. And that's why it's important to have the backpack, because it sucks to have to carry this around with you. I just threw it in my backpack and it was all good. So, I'm going to start off with something not real exciting. This is an air metal case. I have an air metal that does not have a case. For whatever reason, the veteran got rid of the case, kept the metal, and I've wanted a case for it just because the case is nice to use for display and it helps protect the metal. $10. Not very exciting, but there's two very important things I want to talk about with this. Number one, the gentleman who sold me this used to have tons of these cases. He'd gotten them all out of surplus. Purple Hearts, Silver Stars, Bronze Stars, Air Medals, Distinguished Flying Crosses, so forth and so on. He had cases. He's down to just a handful. In fact, I think he only had 4 of these left, a couple Purple Hearts and so forth, and he said he cannot find the cases anymore. He told me once they're gone, they're gone. So it shows you kind of the importance. It shows you why it's important to pick up things when you find them. You know, I've been putting this off for a couple of years and finally decided to pull the trigger. There's another reason I want to talk about this, and that's because this is boring. It's just a case for a metal. And a lot of collectors, they tend to avoid buying these things because they want to save their money for that spectacular thing. But you know what? These things right here help make your collection really unique and complete. Putting the metal in here takes that metal and elevates it up to another level. Okay, granted, this isn't a paratrooper helmet. Granted, this isn't a jump jacket or some really awesomely decorated out Ike jacket, whatever. But in the long run, these things are going to make my collection unique. So think about that. It always amazes me when I see these guys spend all this money on helmets, for example, and then they won't spend an extra $20 on a display head. Or they spend huge amounts of money on insignia, but they don't spend $20 on a case to put the insignia in. You know, it just amazes me. So think about that. A case, a display head, a torso, a mannequin, things like this. This is all just as important as the collection itself because it all makes the collection. So anyways, enough of that. Onward, I picked up 2 life belts. They're both the same. This one's in the box. These are the Navy versions. I have the Army versions. This is the Navy version. I don't know if they're necessarily Army versions, but they're the ones you see on D-Day. These are just a little bit different. This one, I did check it out. It was not sealed, so I didn't break the seal. It is in great shape. Sometimes these dry out. They get, you know, very stiff. They crack apart. I didn't want that. So one in the box, and then this one just happened. I bought this one first on day 1, and then on day 2, I found this one. And I liked it because if you flip this open here, inside, it's got this cool stamp where the person was required to fill in their information. So he was part of the 20th Seabees. They went in out in the South Pacific, New Guinea, somewhere in there, if memory serves me. I did just kind of a quick search of him in the 20th. And then it's dated 1943. So this was his life belt. So kind of a cool thing. And they, you know, they're called invasion belts, but You know, they're not necessarily invasion belts. Were they worn during invasions? Yes, but they were also worn just during landings. If you had to go in and put your feet in the water, or if there was fear that you might fall out of a boat or whatever, you'd put one of these on. So they were meant just to get you to shore. But cool, so I got 2 of those. Nice additions to the collection. Moving upward, I picked up a real nice World War II dated pack tail for the M1928 pack. It's also called the diaper, but I prefer pack tail. This one's dated 1944. Just a nice example. I like to pick these up when I can because you often find the M28 packs. You don't find the pack tails. So this was just a beautiful, pristine example. And what was nice is the gentleman just threw it in. I bought this from him. That segue was horrible. Let's try that again. The gentleman just threw it in because I bought this from him. This is the M1910 pack. This is the World War I version. And this pack is absolutely the mintiest, most unissued pack I've ever seen. I mean, there's no rust stains on them. Usually you see them, they've got storage dirt, or they've got rust stains, they've got other issues. This one is just gorgeous. It's got the meat can pouch, and inside the meat can pouch are the leather sleeves for the silverware. It's got the pack itself. Just look at that. I mean, that US is just as crisp as the day it was made. Inside here, you can see the beautiful date of Rock Island Arsenal, 1917. And then, just leave that open here because you can see it's got its pack tail. And look at the stamping there. I mean, just crisp. And this one's also dated 1918. So it's a true, complete World War I M1910 pack. I mean, think about that. It's over 100 years old. And look at the condition. And the cost of this, it was $75. And he threw in that. So I thought that was a pretty good deal for something that excellent. What I'm going to do is I have a World War I display. I have one of these in there, but it's not that nice and it's missing the pack tail. So this one's going to go into the display and then the other one will come out and be used for something else. So moving on, I've always had a soft spot in my heart for World War II era toys, and I found this just really neat ship there. $25. All wood, all handmade. The little guns here, you can see they're designed to move. You have 2 on the front, you have 1 on the rear here. It's quite a substantial model. I mean, it's real heavy, it's solid wood. Nice little pilot house. It's got 4 stacks, you know, little house on the back here. And when I was looking at it, there were 2 holes, one here and one here. And the gentleman that had it, you know, wanted $25 for it, and he felt there used to be guns there. And I looked at him like, I don't think there would have been guns there. It doesn't make any sense. They wouldn't fit. You know, right here, they'd be blocking the pilot house and just wouldn't make any sense. And my guess was there used to be masts that no longer exist. And sure enough, I bought it, came home, went to the hardware store, and picked up a dowel rod. The dowel rod fit perfectly. So that hole was drilled for a dowel rod. And they often use dowel rods on things like this. So I fashioned 2 masts for it. Ran the wire here just to give it that finished look. See, it's just a cool model. And I was thinking of painting these to finish them off, but you know, because I replaced them, I think I'm just going to leave them just like they are, just so a future person knows that these were not originally part of it, that I actually added these to it. But boy, it just completes that, and I just love that. I'll be doing a video on the toys that I have found, so you can see, because I got some really cool toys. So moving on, I picked up a field foam. This is the early war version in the leather case. These were used throughout the entire war, but as the war progressed, they replaced the leather with the canvas cases because they found in the South Pacific that the leather would just rot out. So you'll see a lot of the canvas cased ones. That the canvas was then used all the way up Korea, Vietnam, and they changed over to like a nylon case and so forth. But this is a real nice example, World War II. I've wanted one for my field desk display, and then at the show, I must have seen over a dozen of these things. And the prices were all over the place, from really expensive, where I just walked on by because I'm not going to spend $150 on a field phone, to reasonable, you know, $50, $60, but then lots of condition issues. Case was ripped, or the strap was broken, dry rotted. In one case, I found one that was just perfect, and the guy's like, yeah, $50, you can have it. Opened it up, and the handset was literally broken in half and had been duct taped. It was just kind of flopping there, and I'm just like, oh, doggone it. And he's like, well, you know, you can replace the handset, but you know, I'm not looking to find a project. I want one complete. So second day, just near the end of the show, I happened to walk by a table. A gentleman had one. He said he'd put it out because he'd sold something else. 50 bucks and just in absolute stellar shape here. In fact, if you come down here, you can kind of see if we can get the markings there. There they are. It says Signal Corps, U.S. Army, and then it's got the, it's an EE-8B. If you hear a lot of rattling in that, we're experiencing gusts up to 60 miles an hour right now. And let me tell you, it's interesting to hear what they're doing to the house. So, all right, moving on. I picked up this item right here. It looks a little rough, but I love it. What this is going to be displayed with my Marine Corps canteen. This is a Marine Corps rubberized cap. This would be worn with the raincoat. This is meant to keep the rain off you. A lot of times these are very brittle because that rubberized stuff just dries right out and cracks and falls apart. This one is still very pliable. And I mean, it's been stored, you can see clearly by how it's folded, it's been stored in a pocket forever. But inside here, let's see if we can zoom in. So again, you can see very nicely USMC, United States Marine Corps. It's got the company name, and then it's got 1943 November. Ooh, that was a pretty, wow. That was quite the wind. Huh. Interesting. So, once again, gusts up to 60 miles an hour. So, all right, so there's the hat. And then the last thing I found at the show, which is probably my favorite item right here, Navy uniform. I know some of you are saying, gosh, you're talking about kind of getting rid of your uniforms, but this one right here, I couldn't pass up. We've got the emergency tie. It needs to be washed and then hung out so it's not all wrinkled. We have and it's called the emergency tie or the wartime tie. Pre-war, they used the big neckerchief cloths. To economize, they went to just a very thin tie. So, wartime, economy tie, emergency tie. It's got the flat cap or the Donald Duck cap with the nice U.S. Navy tally. We have the tunic, and we have the trousers. Trousers are well identified, and they match the tunic. You can see the name here is Kalinchik, I believe is how you say it, Kalinchik. All right. Now, I bought this for a couple of reasons. Number one, check out that insignia. Minesweeper. I could not believe it. I've been looking for one of these for quite a while. I looked at a couple at the show, and they wanted $75 and $100 for just the tunic. Here, this guy had all of this, and he wanted $50. So I was like, sold. But that's not why I bought it. I love it, but if you look here, let's lay this out. If you look here on the front, we've got his discharge insignia, and you have the seaman stripe. But check this out. Look at these Liberty cuffs. They are just gorgeous. So he has the Liberty cuffs, and in fact, is it this one here? Yeah, sorry, upside down. This one here, it says Cal. So they actually put his initial or his last name, Kalinchek. So he's got Cal on there. But that's not why I bought this. I bought this because when you flip it over, just a nice tunic, but it has a Liberty flap. Look at that. Isn't that absolutely amazing? China, Shanghai, just, it takes my breath away. And once again, the colors on film are nothing like they are in person. They are so bright and vivid, it is insane. And it's got the correct tag, once you kind of Naval Clothing Factory, and you can see his name in there, Kalinchek. So nice matching set. Favorite thing, $50. This was one of those kind of end of the second day finds. And it shows you that here I was at the show for 2 days, and one of the best things I find second day, halfway through, and it's still there. And it shouldn't have been. It should have been gone with all of that, with this insignia and all of that Liberty art. This should have really been sold early on. So it was there, and I was able to buy it. Now, I told you I went to an antique shop. I stopped at one, and I picked up just a couple small things. First of all, nice set of Civil Air Patrol Cadet insignia. You can see they've got the flat clutches. They're sterling clutches. I got 2 pieces, and then this little soft cap rondelle. This would be like for your overseas cap to wear on it. A lot of people think that these were worn on the collars of shirts. Like you'd have a match set on a collar. These were actually worn over the right breast pocket and showed that you were a cadet. So these are the wartime. After the war, they went to a patched that said CAPC. It was like blue with white stitching. That would be worn over the pocket. But wartime, this is what you wore. And what was nice about this is once you stopped being a cadet, you could just unpin these and then, you know, you keep wearing the uniform. So nice set. I paid $9 for all 3 pieces total, which was, you know, just a really good deal. And then finally, I bought this hat. I was really surprised to find this. It was at an antique shop. Gentleman had some military stuff. He had a lot of enlisted man's hats, officers' hats, and his prices were really reasonable. I mean, enlisted man's hats were between $20 and $30, which that's a fair price. At the show, they were running $60 to $70. And then he had this, and what this is the tropical white. This is, you know, late 30s into the 40s. And you can see it's that kind of cottony material versus like a mixture or a blend that you saw after the war. It's got the correct visor with the green on the inner side. It's got the correct kind of hat shield in here, sweat shield. So just a great hat, and a grand total of $30. It's got a little bit of staining in the front. I may try at some point to take the cover off and soak it in OxyClean, but you know, the staining isn't significant, and sometimes when you mess with a hat, it's really hard to get it back together and it doesn't look quite right. So we may just leave it just like it is. So, sorry for the length of this video. I was, like I said, going to divide this into 2 parts, but I thought, you know, we're just going to roll all the way through with one. So this is my trip to the Show of Shows. Lots of cool stuff. And once again, to conclude this, take your time right now, plan it out, save up some money, and make that pilgrimage to the Show of Shows. So on that note, this is Steve with Keep 'em Rolling, reminding all of you collectors out there to keep 'em rolling. And thanks for watching.